Alright guys, so the time has come to go ahead and work on the front suspension of the Acti. I haven't been posting any videos on it because frankly I've been using it. It's spring and I use the Acti to get all my supplies, from the gardening center. So in any case, first step is going to be to remove the front struts and the half shafts to change the CV boots, and then hopefully upgrade the springs to a stronger, stiffer spring.
Ryan Little.
Japan. Okay, so I'm working on the driver's side first, just because this is the shady side, so it's going to film better. But first step is to remove the driver's seat to gain access to the strut tower mounts. If you're not sure how to remove the seat, you could watch my video about my interior. I kind of go through the whole process on how to remove the interior, and I think the driver's seat's the first thing I do, so you don't have to sit through the whole video. This cross beam here, it's a support for the seat that covers one of these bolts. I think I could just move it out of the way enough to access that bolt, but if you want to, you could remove the whole console, and there's a bolt hidden underneath the shifter there that once you remove that, you can remove this cross piece. But I can move it out of the way to remove it, so I don't think I need to do that. So keep in mind, I do have a lift kit on this vehicle. Noticing the bolts I used are corroded pretty badly, so I plan on replacing those with something that's a little bit more corrosion resistance. But basically I'm going to remove either these bolts, or maybe leave the lift kit on there and just remove these nuts here to remove the strut. And then there is a bolt here that supports the bottom of the strut, so pretty straightforward. I'm thinking once I remove that, I put some anti-seize in here, not anti-seize, but liquid wrench to see if that's not going to be a problem. Hopefully it'll come out easily. But the only other thing I'm going to do is remove this bolt here that supports the brake line, so that's not stressed when the suspension drops down, because this is pretty tight right now with the vehicle in the air because there's no load on the vehicle. So so I'm gonna go through the motions and try to get the strut out.
Ryan Little.
Japan. Okay, so I got the lower control arm unbolted. I got the strut out. See there? Sorry. Trying to get the camera. Got the strut out. I cut the metal zip ties for the CV boot, and I noticed that steering arm ball joint is let me see if I could get that on camera here. Right there. Steering arm ball joint is bad as well, so I have to replace that. And I've been wrestling with this for a few minutes now. I can't get this steering arm ball joint out, so I don't have a fork tool or else it'll probably be easy work of it, but I'm having to just manhandle it, so I'm gonna stay at it till I get it out. Thanks. Okay, so we got the front spindle out along with the half shaft, and I could not get that ball joint for the steering arm to budge, so I actually had to disconnect it from the steering arm. And I just gotta, I need to buy a couple of tools that I don't have to get this job one. First of all, I need a ball joint separator. I've seen the ones where it's just like a fork and you hammer it in, but I think there's a new one where actually has like a worm screw and you drive it through and it actually acts like a reverse of a clamp. So you put it in, and as you tighten the bolt, it separates it. So let me see if I could pick that tool up. And the other thing I need to do is I don't have a socket big enough to get that nut out that holds the spindle. I gotta check. I just didn't have it handy, so I gotta double check. And then the other thing is I need a spring compressor so I could get the spring out of the strut, because I plan on upgrading the spring. The one thing I know already is that the spring is pretty tiny, and most spring compressors out there are designed for more larger vehicles. So some of them don't even fit on here because they're just too big for this tiny strut. So I'm gonna see if it's something I could rent from like AutoZone or something. It's probably a tool that I'm not gonna use very often, so it doesn't make sense for me to actually buy one. But that's the plan. So I have to leave it here just because I have to stop off over here just because I don't have those tools. But the good thing is I have this inside, so now I could work on it inside the garage. I think we're gonna get some rain tomorrow, but maybe I could do a little bit of work since I could work inside. So that's the plan. And when I order the springs and all that stuff, I'll post any parts that I order. I'll put a link to them so that you guys could reference them if you ever have to do this. Alright, thank you for watching, and stay tuned, I guess.
Production.
So I decided to remove these boots first, just to see if I come across anything else that you know, I need to worry about as far as getting tools. I think there's a snap ring that holds the bearing inside in here, and I want to make sure I have the correct tool to remove that out. So since I'm gonna be getting some other stuff, some other tools. I just wanted to make sure. I think I'm gonna have to remove that nut on the spindle nut before I could figure out anything else on this. Thought there was like an E-ring in here. I don't see one. Maybe I just need to clean this up a little bit better, but the plan is to continue tomorrow.
Ryan Little.